Hello, great ones. How are you doing? I'm sure you're doing great. I'm sorry I couldn't post for a couple of weeks because I was working on my other podcast interviews. But today I'm here. Has it ever happened to you that you made an impression or image of someone in your head without even meeting them, purely solely based on other people's opinion or perceptions? It happens, right? Sometimes, if we haven't met a person before, we get our perception impacted by what other people say or talk about that person. Let me share a scenario with you that happened at work one day. I was in a clinic. As soon as I reached in the clinic around 7:30, quarter to 8, the other nurse who works regularly in that clinic, I work there occasionally. That nurse came to me and she said, Param, it's the same doctor today who was here yesterday. And I said, okay. She said, she's so pushy. She doesn't give a chance to change. She doesn't give a chance to get ready for the next clients. She just brings the other client in. She's so fast. She doesn't cooperate. And I was like, okay. I said, did you ask her to pause and give you time to do what's needed to be doing? And she said, yeah, but she doesn't listen. She didn't listen. And I said, okay. Now here, I had two choices. Number one, I could just go into gossiping mode and just start talking about that doctor, what she was doing wrong or what she was doing wasn't right or was not a good style of working. Or I just let it go and see for myself. I chose the second option. It was very easy for me to get trapped into what the other nurse was saying and just started talking about the doctor. But I said to myself, okay, Param, stop. You don't have to make the perception of that person you haven't even met yet, just based on what other people had experienced. So I took a deep breath. I said to myself in my head, I'm gonna see for myself. I'm not going to ruin my mood just because someone else didn't like that doctor. And then 8 o'clock, the doctor comes in and I personally greeted her, and then we started chatting and then we started work. The whole shift went so smoothly, so pleasantly, perfect. Then I thought to myself, wow, I was really proud of myself actually for stopping myself, for not making the judgment that I was about to make, that I could have made based on the other nurse's experience. I didn't. I let it go and I controlled myself and I made my own perception. And that's why the day went so smooth, so fine. If I had gotten impacted by the perception, the image, and I had made that image in my head, I would have talked to the doctor differently. I would have assumed her working style differently, and the shift wouldn't have gone smooth. Now, why I'm sharing this with you is because in life, we always come across the scenarios where we always have two choices and we have to make one. And the one we make defines or decides our day, in fact, our life. because life is all about making choices. In life, we come across many people, many scenarios, but how we conduct ourselves in those scenarios is gonna define our destiny. Now, let's promise ourselves these three or four things that I have promised myself, and I'm sharing with you guys, and you can promise too if you like. Number one, don't judge anyone based on other people's opinion about them. In fact, if any thought comes into your mind, any judgment thought comes into your mind, just remind yourself, wait a second, who am I to judge them? And then stop. Second, never assume anything about anyone based on other people's experiences or perceptions. See for yourself. Change your own attitude, and your perception will change. And number three, don't make perceptions about people without knowing them, because we don't know what anyone is going through life in that particular moment or in that particular day. Maybe someone is having a bad day. Be kind. Be kind to everyone. That's what this world needs more. Kindness, understanding, compassion, love, integrity. So let's promise ourselves that we will always be kind to ourselves and others. When we don't stay kind, when we make assumptions, when we make perceptions without actually knowing the actual scenario, without knowing the truth, that's what causes friction in our relationships. It could be at work, or it could be in family or relatives. So to have smooth relationships, to have smooth life, let's promise ourselves no judgment, no perception without knowing anyone, and we are gonna stay kind. Okay? I'll see you next time. Till then, keep smiling.